Well, a new poll shows progressive Maine Senate candidate Graham Plattner with a wide lead over Democratic Governor Janet Mills. This despite Plattner's recent controversies, including a tattoo that resembles a Nazi symbol. Now the race is dividing the party, and Carly Shimkus and Paul Morrow are here. It's getting a lot of attention, and one of the reasons is because it's a fight amongst the Democrats. Chuck Schumer wants Janet Mills. Bernie Sanders, the burr in the saddle for the Democrats, wants this guy. And here he is defending Graham Plattner and the tattoo.
I suspect that Graham Plattner is not the only American to have gone through a dark period. And he said things that are stupid, things that were hurtful. He has apologized for them. And what he says now, and the guy that I saw up on the stage in Portland, Maine, rather a brilliant guy. I mean, really a strong fighter.
So brilliant, Carly, that he didn't know, apparently, that he was having this tattoo.
Yeah, so Plattner, he took off like a rocket. I mean, you just saw that polling, and now there's a whole lot catching up to him. And one of the issues is that he's still going through public vetting. Not a lot of people know who he is. So the fact that there is a quote of him this week saying, "I am not a secret Nazi," and that I mean, you see it right there. He's doing interviews where he's taken off his shirt to show that he covered up the tattoo. That's going to stick in people's minds. He also has these Reddit posts that are going to be really, really problematic. This is a must-win for Democrats if they want to maintain control or regain control come 2026. So he has the wind at his back right now. He's got the momentum, and I do think that the likely Zohran Mamdani win in New York City could help him when it comes to where donors spend their money. But at the same time, because of these scandals, man, you could easily see a coalescing around Janet Mills and the establishment candidate,
But
depending on
Carly,
how this
he
plays
covered
out.
it up. It's all but gone.
You know what he's saying, and
That was sarcasm.
I know. I tend to. He said that he did this in his 20s. He was in the Marines at the time. He did it drunk in Croatia. That could be true. But how he's handling it now, especially when there's all these other Reddit posts, is going to be a big issue.
But my sense is voters don't necessarily need to see their Senate candidates with their shirt off.
Yeah, there's been a lot of belly buttons.
They don't. They certainly don't, especially, I think, in the case of the New York City mayoral race. But that said, you know, this is emblematic very much of the schism within the Democratic Party that has been developing over time here. And very clearly, the momentum, the energy, the ambition is on the hyper-progressive side. That's why we're going to see a Zohran Mamdani. That's why this guy is up so many points. What strikes me specifically and uniquely about the Maine race is that one of the aspects of his popularity in the Democratic Party was that he scanned with Republican qualities. They said, look at this, we got an alpha male, we got a guy that looks like he works with his hands, he's an oysterman, this is great, this is great. And they fell in love with them, to use an old line. They ran off with a trucker for the weekend, and then they wised up, right? And then they realized, uh-oh, what do we got? He's Nazi adjacent, he's talked about Antifa, he's advocated violence not that long ago. They fell in love so quickly because they're so desperate. They're searching around for the identity. And I'm going to quote you. Where's daddy? Somebody has to say, grow up, go to your room, think about this, and come back with a considered argument because this is not working.
The other story that I think is fascinating is the one that broke yesterday where the FBI had this sweeping, multi-pronged investigation into gambling and the NBA. So there were some commentators last night talking about it. Let's listen to that here.
This ain't got nothing to do with addiction. These dudes are stupid. Why are they stupid? Under no circumstances can you fix basketball games. Under no circumstances.
You're proving my point.
What do you mean?
That means
that's
that
not
it's an
addiction.
illogical thought process.
No.
If you're making $26 million to try to win 50,000.
Drugs are addiction.
So there's no gambling addiction?
No, yeah, they are gambling addiction. But the notion that you're trying to make sure for these guys being addicted, you can't fix basketball games.
Carly, what did you make of it?
Can't fix them. You know, there's an element to this story that reminds me of the college admission scandal. And I was trying to think why. And I think the reason it reminds me of that is because you're talking about people who seem to have it all, risking so much for something so little. I mean, in some of these bets, the players that are being accused are just making $1,000 when they have millions. There's just so many elements to this when it comes to all the crime families, except for four out of the five working together, using contact lenses, eyeglasses, ways to cheat. There are bigger questions now when it comes to betting in sports, and if this changes things, we'll have to see how this one all plays out. But fascinating story.
I love this show. It moved from TNT to ESPN this year, and I don't know if they took the press conference yesterday, but that to the side. What Barkley said there is that you can't fix basketball games. I don't think that's the issue with regard to the games. The issue is the new prop bet, where you can bet on an individual player, whether he gets enough points or less.
And he can bet against himself.
He could.
Yeah, I mean, the Mafia knows how to do this stuff. And you don't necessarily have to throw the entire game. You just got to get within the point spread. And that's what they go for. If you look at the history of these kinds of scandals, we had a big one in college basketball in the 70s, very famous. It was implicated in the Goodfellas movie, if you ever seen. They were up in real life, they did it. We had a case only about 7-8 years ago where they bent a ref. That case was expanding. It looked like it was going to get a lot larger. The NBA kind of managed to turtle it up. So my point is they know how to do it judiciously. And as far as the money goes, yeah, these guys are making a fortune. But you know what happens? They're on the road. They're bored. It's excitement. They're addicted to the adrenaline. And
They've got their phone.
Also,
They got their phone, Paul.
They got
but
their
in
phone.
addition, like, yeah, Vegas is in your pocket. But there was intimidation. There was even threats of violence against the people who were doing. So it's not just that I mean, whatever they were talking about, like you can't just fix a game. It went beyond that.
Well, what happens is you get in deep, right? And at that point now they own you. And one of the things they're always going to be willing to do is loan you money. So, you know, you're waiting for your paycheck, you need some money, they're happy to do that. It always starts with a small aperture. They get one guy, it's working out, he tells us, you got any other friends that are interested in this kind of thing? The college basketball scandal broke that way. The next thing you know, they had half the team. Goes back to Shoeless Joe Jackson throwing the World Series. This stuff goes back ages. If there's money, they're going to be there.
They did give something away yesterday when they said one of the victims involved in this, not a player, was in the hole $1.8 million.
Yeah.
If you're in the hole $1.8 million, you're probably talking. So we'll find out in the end.
There's going to
whether
be
that's the
flips.
case.
There's something like 30-something people that are in the indictment, but only about 29 are named. So the rest of them likely are going to be
Witness protection?
testifiers, and you'll probably hear that there are some people who are going to be
As we learned,
disappeared.
Yeah, the mob never went away. They just stayed quiet for a while.
Fascinating story.
It's nice to have an uncomplicated life.
Yes.
Like, it's so easy just to not have a complicated one.
Exactly.
Thanks, Carly. Thank you, Paul. Good stuff.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.